Karyn Reece with my co-host, Sarah DeFelice, and welcome to the Karyn Reece Show.
We have a great show for you with audience questions, readings, and a special guest.
Imagine dying and actually going to hell only to see the light and come back to life, and that's exactly what Howard Storm said happened to him. The former chairman of the art department of Northern Kentucky University wrote a book about his near-death experience. He's told his story to Oprah Winfrey, The Today Show, and appeared on dozens of shows, and now he's telling it to us in part 2 of this special Skype interview.
As I became weaker, they started to bite and scratch, and then they started to gouge and tear. And the more I fought and the more I protested, the more it encouraged them to do these sorts of things. And I heard a voice which seemed to come from my chest, and it said, "Pray to God." I don't know how to pray. I can't pray. And the voice said, real strong, "Pray to God." And I thought, okay, when I was a kid, we went to Sunday school and we learned prayers. Like, what was that? I come up with, "Our Father who art in heaven." So I said those things very timidly. And when I did that, the people that were around me became very angry, extremely angry. And they were saying in very, very obscene language that there is no God, nobody could hear me, and that if I didn't stop immediately, they were going to do much worse things to me than they'd already done. But I also noticed that whenever I mentioned anything about God, they would step back, kept retreating away from me, because any mention of God was just driving them away from me. So I'm yelling crazy, mixed up things about God, and I'm just making up stuff about God. God's going to get you. God hates you guys, and stuff like that. And threatening them with God, which I didn't believe in. And
Interesting.
then they left me alone in that place. And while I was alone in that place, I had an opportunity to think of my life. And as I went over my life, all as I came up with was regrets. Regrets about my relationship with my mother and father, regrets about my relationship with my sisters, my 2 sisters, regrets about the husband that I had been to my wife. Since I didn't have anything else, I thought I'd take a chance on Jesus. So I called out to him out of pure desperation. If desperation's faith, then I had faith. It was just desperate, for somebody to help me. And to my great surprise and delight, he came out into that dark place. He came first as a point of light, which rapidly became a great, huge, unbelievably bright white light. And he came over me, and out of that light came hands and arms, and he reached down and touched me. And when he touched me, for the first time in that darkness, I could see myself, and I was just a heap of gore. And when he touched me, all of that kind of dissolved away, and I was like whole and intact. And more importantly than that was he filled me with a love that can't be described, so much greater than any love that we've ever experienced in our life in this world. And his hands went behind my back, and he picked me up very gently, and he brought me up against himself with his arms around me and held me very firmly and began to rub my back. Like a mother or a father would do to a child that's weeping. And I was crying like I'd never cried in my whole life, but I was crying out of happiness. I looked to where we're headed, and what it appeared was like a gigantic galaxy of light with lots of activity around it. And then I realized that was like where God lived.
Oh, beautiful.
And I thought, in my mind, I said, he's made a terrible mistake. I'm garbage, and he should put me back where he found me. And he spoke to me for the first time, and this was all telepathic communication, but he spoke in his own voice, and he said, we don't make mistakes. You belong here. I said, I want to go be in heaven now. And he'd shown me heaven. He'd given me a tour of heaven, but I was never admitted into heaven. I was never. And he said to me, no, it's not right for you to go to heaven. You really need to live this stuff. You need to do these things that we've talked about and that I've shown you. And then you could go to heaven. You would fit in. But right now you wouldn't fit in at all. And so we had a huge argument, and I argued with him as vigorously and as strong as I possibly could to not send me back to this world and allow me to go to heaven. And everything that I argued, he counter-argued very calmly and sweetly and nicely, but he shot all my arguments down. And finally, I couldn't think of any more reasons, because I didn't want to come back here. And I finally agreed to come back, and when I agreed to come back, he said, okay, and I was back. There was no transition. I was just like right back in the bed, in the body, in the pain. And immediately when I came back, this was now a little after 9 o'clock at night, nurse came into the room. She said, a doctor has now arrived at the hospital, and you're going to have the surgery. So they prepped me for the surgery, and I had the surgery starting at 10 o'clock that night.
Well, I thank you, Howard, for joining us from your home and ministry now in Kentucky. You can find out more at his website, howardstorm.com.
Still ahead, Karyn will read some people in our audience, but up next, we take some questions from the audience.
Welcome back to the show. Our friend Alexa Zappia is in the audience, so I can answer some questions on what you just saw. Do you believe in heaven and hell? Let's see what you think.
Hi, what's your name and where are you from?
Hi, I'm Terry from West Seneca.
So Terry, what are your thoughts? Do you believe in heaven, hell, somewhere in between?
Well, I certainly hope that there's a heaven. And I definitely think there's a division, a purgatory, a heaven, and a hell. But my question is, do you think there's like a holding pattern before? Example, someone in a coma, Alzheimer's, or someone just recently passed that still kind of stay with us?
That's a good question, Terry. Typically speaking, when you cross over, you'll have somebody there if you're going to be going towards the light. So typically speaking, you'll go over, you may spend some time in a hospital just to ground yourself. But as far as like staying around us, typically speaking, they move you right along. So your only holding pattern would be on the other side, maybe in a hospital, but generally speaking, once you're out of the physical, you get clarity and you're good to go. As long as you're going, to the other side. Location, 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 to the light. Now where it's hot, although I do like the heat, but that's because we're from upstate. Anyways.
What's your name, where are you from?
Hi, Meg from South Buffalo. With multiple lives, is there like a finale to the multiple lives, or how do you?
That's a great question. People say it all the time. Our goal is to ultimately become the most spiritually high being that we can be, but it takes a long time. But at some point, we're to become one with God. That's what the ultimate goal is. But we're all pretty slow on that one. Anyways, and?
What's your name, where are you from?
Chrissy, I'm from Mayville, New York.
Hi, Chrissy from Mayville, New York. Mayville's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Reminds me of heaven, by the way. There's a place on the other side that has that kind of look to it when you look over the Lake Chautauqua and what have you.
When I drive down to Mayville and I see the lake,
yeah,
that's it. That's what drew me there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So heaven on earth for you.
Yep, absolutely. My question to you is, do you see your own future, good or bad?
Oh, I do, yeah. And that's happened throughout my life. In many occasions, and sometimes good, sometimes bad. Sometimes I follow true, if it's something naughty, I'll try to skirt the issue, and sometimes I just go ahead and have a good time.
What's your name? Where are you from?
Hi, I'm Lisa, and I'm from Buffalo.
Hi, Lisa from Buffalo.
I have a question about my mom. She has severe Alzheimer's, and they say that they don't understand, they're only living for the minute, and I don't believe that.
You know what? That's a great question, especially in this day and age where, you know, it's so rampant. But no, oftentimes people get it. Even when people are in comas, they're still aware. Sometimes they step out of their bodies if you're in a coma and you'll see yourself. But as far as Alzheimer's, no. A lot of times they get it, and they especially get it at night because they go out of body and they'll say, oh my God, that happened during the day. So it's just kind of like a computer flaw, you know, hit or miss with your body.
Is my father with her all the time? I'm always telling him to go.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah. Definitely. He said you better behave yourself. Ha ha. Good luck on that one, Lee. Anyways, readings coming up next. Welcome back. Time for some amazing readings. Okay, I've got to go right up into the middle. Betty. Yes. Are you connected to Betty? Yes.
I have a grandma who was Betty.
Yeah, Grandma Betty's coming in. That's so funny because I was looking at you earlier when I started getting pulled over there. They're all starting to talk. Were you hoping to talk to Grandma Betty today?
I actually didn't know her very well.
Well, she seems to know you very well. Should we find out if you've been a good girl or a bad girl? Bad might be fun.
I put lots of stories about her.
She says, don't believe everything you hear either, just the good ones, she said to tell you. Yeah. She watches over you a lot.
Okay.
Were you thinking about making a move too?
I've kind of been moving recently into somewhere else and in the future possibly too.
Oh, so you're like slowly moving your residence
it's kind
or whatever?
Of bouncing around.
Oh, so you haven't like settled yet. You're trying this
Not
place
completely.
and go there. Yeah, because she's talking about you moving. You know, sleeping here, sleeping there, that kind of thing. Yeah. You were a gypsy in a past life. It kind of stands to reason. Yeah, Betty's laughing about that. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that explains it all. I did see a lot of travel overseas too. I saw you going over to Ireland, you know, the UK.
Really?
Yeah, I saw you on a double-decker bus. Ooh, I would get car sick on that kind of thing. Thank you very much. I'll stick to walking. But you got a good life. You got a career change all around you. You know that, don't you?
It's been up in the air.
Yeah.
I mean, I recently did it a few months ago, and it's kind of to the point where I may do it again soon.
Yeah, you're not in your chosen field and you got more changes. Betty said, believe in yourself, and she says, don't let anybody push you around. You're pretty tough. You're a sweetheart, but you're tough too, you know that?
Yeah, through going through some stuff, I had to kind of become that way.
Yeah. She's talking about your father too.
That was my father's grandma.
Yeah. He's still living, your dad, I take it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You haven't talked to Dad in a while? Yeah. She blew you in on that one.
Yeah.
Grandma Betty knows. She goes, call your father. He loves you deeply. You know, like what we were just talking about earlier, sometimes you got to cut people some slack.
Yeah.
You know, your dad may not be the best father or expressing it, but you're still his daughter.
Yeah.
And he loves you very much. But listen, you got to listen to more of your gut instinct when it comes to your career choices. I think too many people are trying to nudge you this way, nudge you that way. Everybody means well, but you really need to listen to what you got. And you got a very high IQ.
Oh.
Would you like working with kids too?
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually work in a daycare. Actually, I met Alexa that way.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're really good with kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have worked with them for as long as I can remember.
Well, you have in other lifetimes, but you have a gift in this lifetime. Yeah. Good with the kids.
Wait, I have a kid?
Yeah, a gift.
Oh, a gift. I was like, wait, what?
Well, you can have your kids down the road.
I think about like the future.
Something you want to share with us that nobody knows yet? I'm sure your parents will like that one, Mom especially. But anyways, you got great things ahead of you, so stop and smell the roses. And even though you haven't talked to your dad, Betty says give him a call. He really, you know, he's still your dad and loves you very much. And Betty does too. God bless you.
Thank you.
Crazy, 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 crazy. Okay, so I got to go over with your mom, Margaret, over here. So, Lex, if you want to give, because you know your mother needs to talk to you today. She's driving me up the freaking wall.
She talks to me all the time, but yes.
Yeah,
That was yours.
yeah. She's laughing about that too. And she said to tell you, not only do I talk to you, but I also give you pointers on all the things that you're doing. Absolutely. Were you doing something with your checkbook recently, making some changes with your investments or checking account or something? Yeah?
And my sons, yes.
Yeah, she was giving you like heads up, because you know why? Ma says, I know what I'm doing now that I'm here. I can see things at a broad spectrum. Were you hoping to hear from Margaret today?
Absolutely.
Yeah, she said, I told my daughter I talked to you, because you said, Ma, you better show up, didn't you?
Yes.
Ooh, see, your mom knows how
And
to
I'm
show.
hoping she's not alone.
Oh no, she's got your father, she's got an aunt, she's got a whole bunch of people with her, but it's all about you too. Something about your foot?
Yes.
Yeah, does it bother you?
Very much so.
It's bothering me. Thanks for sharing that, I appreciate that. You haven't been to the doctors in a while for your foot? You need to get to the doctors.
Okay.
You know what your mother just said to me too? She says, you worry about everybody else, but you don't worry about yourself. Isn't that the truth?
I'm
Yep.
just like her, yes.
Your grandmother says I vouch for that. Did somebody lose a son? Do you know somebody that lost a son? Is that a friend of yours?
Lost a son recently.
Somebody lost a son. Did you lose a son? It's your son coming in. I heard son. Mom's here. Okay, so we need to, oh my God. This is kind of an interesting. Margaret wanted me to tell you your son's doing well. Your son says, Mom, I'm doing okay, not to worry. Okay, I'm going to tell Margaret, hold her talking. She's chatting. I got to go with you now all of a sudden. Who's got the August or July birthday?
My other son.
Okay, is it August?
Yes.
Yeah, because he said something birthday. Your son says, tell him happy birthday to your son. Who's Mike? Is that a friend of your other son's? Who's Mike?
Oh my God. Mike was a friend of my son's.
And he's still living?
Yes.
Yeah, because your son says he's here. And I'm like, you mean here, here. So your son's right there. And he goes, yeah, when you see Mike, tell him I said hello. Have you talked to Mike lately? No?
I don't talk to him.
Oh. He goes, Ma, he goes, I'm okay. He said, listen, he says, I'm fine. He says, life is good over here. And he said, you watched the video. Did you like the video? He liked the video. Your son liked the video. He goes, it was really good. He said, Mike every day has been feeling awful ever since this incident occurred. And he said, Mom, he says, I've forgiven him. He says, let it go. He says, someday we'll be together and you'll say, you know, I get it. And he says, I know right now it still seems to, it sits in the wrong spot, which is understandable. But he said, if you could just realize I've got the best world over here. And he said, and you'll see someday. And he goes, I'm okay. He's already moved past Mike. And he says, when you move past it, it might just make it a little bit easier.
It's very hard to do that, though.
I just said that. He goes, Mom, I understand. And he says, I completely get it. He said, but it's for your own health, because what happens is kind of eats away at you. And you carry it in your solar plexus. You may not realize that. But he's doing really well. And he goes, oh, that's why he's so, oh, you know what? He was actually in my house today, your son. Yeah, I saw him walk when I was getting ready. I was putting my shoes on. And he said, nice shoes to me. Actually, I was putting little things in them to keep my feet in. He's laughing about that. He likes my cats too, by the way. Yeah.
I'm worried about his children.
He appreciates everything you do. He goes, Mom, they're tough. You got to tell them, you know what makes me happy is when you're happy here. That is so true. We don't realize it, but when we're on the other side, that's what we really want to have happen. And he appreciates everything that everybody, including you, obviously, are doing for him. He says, but you got to tell him you're tough. You're tough, and I need you to be tough because you have great things to do in this life. And he said again, he goes, I've forgiven Mike. He goes, I've moved on, Mom. And he goes, you know, I'm always going to be here. He says, but that doesn't hold me back living in this world. Therefore, don't let this incident hold everybody back from doing the things that we need to do, you know.
Okay.
By the way, he's met God, too. And he says the most amazing, and you can't describe it. I had a near death, and I can't even describe, you know, the connection with God. He says, but God's within all of us. And he said, our imperfections are good, are bad, and all of the above. One thing he did say, he goes, Mom, Mike didn't intend on it. It's all about the intention. And he said, for that reason, he said, you know, it could have been reversed. And he says, it just is what it is. But he says, I love you from the bottom of my heart. God bless
Okay.
you.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. We will be right back. Welcome back to the show. We have lots of great gifts to give away. A member of our studio audience will receive a $25 gift certificate to Elaine's Flower Shop with 3 locations in Western New York. Go to elainesflowershop.biz for all of your flower needs.
One lucky winner will receive a $20 gift certificate to Tavern at Windsor Park. Enjoy English pub grub and American fare at 8444 Transit Road in Williamsville. Check out their menu at tavernatwindsorpark.com.
And of course, a perfect place for any occasion is Salvatore's Italian Gardens, the Delavan Hotel and Spa, or Garden Place Hotel. One lucky winner will receive a $50 certificate courtesy of Joe Salvatore at Salvatore's Hospitality. And now for the live drawing. Who will win a one-on-one with me for a private reading at my office? Let's find out.
Okay, I'm excited. Here's the number. 640-615.
Yay!
Yay! Congratulations! What a great Karyn Reece show.
What a great Karyn Reece show with a great co-host,
Oh,
Sarah
thank
DeFelice.
you.
Sounds like Reece. Anyways, remember that while we are living our lives, we are preparing ourselves for the next life. It's a lesson our guest Howard Storm shared with us. Remember to live your best life. And of course, thanks for watching. Change with work. Did you make a change with work
Yes.
recently?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Do you?
Yeah.
Do you like it? Yeah.
Great job.
Yeah. We like the change. I'm excited for you. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
it. You're going to do really well at this position.
Thank you.
Were you a little nervous going? I mean, most
Oh,
people
yeah,
get butterflies.
sure.
Yeah, that's what Graham said. But you've got it like, you're smooth sailing. It's like cutting butter. It's just all smooth.
Okay. Good.
I saw like the Bahamas, Caribbean. Do you like going to the Caribbean a lot?
Yeah.
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 Did you buy a place or rent a place down there yet?
I've visited, yeah.
You're going to think about buying a place, and you're going to end up doing an extended rental at some point in your future, like. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Remember us.
Nice. Okay, good.
Yes,
Yeah,
good
we'll
answer.
have
I like what you have to say on that one. I heard the name Elizabeth next to you too. Are you close to a Beth or Elizabeth?
fun. Yeah, I know an Elizabeth.
Who's Elizabeth?
Elizabeth is my deceased boyfriend's daughter,
Oh, she's coming in. Oh God, were you hoping?
but she's living,
Okay, but who's the deceased connection to Elizabeth?
so that's her father.
That's your boyfriend. Okay. Hey, were you hoping to talk to him today?
Yeah.
He kept pointing to you, kept saying the cute one up there, the blonde. I'm like, well, there's a bunch of them. I'm doing really well. Have you talked to Elizabeth lately, his daughter?
No.
That's what he said. He's disappointed. You were hoping to talk. You haven't talked to the kids in a while. He's got a son too, doesn't he? Do you have a son? Who's the boy next to Elizabeth?
She got married recently.
Oh, wait, that's his son-in-law. He said his son connection, son-in-law. Oh, so you didn't go to the wedding, huh? Oh, he's mad. Oh, that's him. Oh, he's mad. When you see Elizabeth, you tell her I'm upset about it, but he likes her boy or her husband, or his son-in-law. I'm very upset about Elizabeth. I would love for the two of you to get together, but she doesn't really seem to be responsive. Has nothing to do with you. You're the love of his life, just so you know. Did you know that?
Yeah.
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 He sees you in your dreams. He likes to tickle your feet. You got a foot fetish. I knew we had foot fetish people today. Anyways, he said, I'm very disappointed. He goes, I would love for my daughter and you to connect. He's doing what he can on the other side, so maybe you could show her this TV little reel. You got a new job change coming up around you. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pursuing a business with my partner.
I just was going to say, I saw your own thing. Yeah, it looks like you got more work left to do with that, but I see like...
lot.
Oh, you just started, yeah. But you've got some good word of mouth that'll come your way.
Great.
The only thing is I feel like I start on one road, then I kind of, you're going to be going all over the place. You need to stay really focused because I know owning a business, it's very easy to get like all sorts of different things like that. Is there somebody named Paul connected to you?
My grandfather on my dad's side.
He's trying to come in.
That might have been like the Donovan that you were picking up, like the O'Don. We were the O'Donovans.
Oh, you're killing me. I had O'Donovans and O'Connells, like
Yeah.
really crazy Irish people.
Yeah.
I know, my mother's Irish. Grandpa Paul, though, you were close to your grandpa, weren't you?
Not on my dad's side, my mom's side, but
Well, Grandpa Paul's telling me about your new business because he says, just tell her Paul. I'm like, who the heck is Paul? So he's watching over you with your business, and he says it's got great applications ahead of you. Yeah, he was one, but then I hate when they all talk and the names sound familiar. He was trying to get my attention. But anyways, you got a lot of things ahead of you, and he said, keep your eye on the ball. You're going to be all over the place, so you're a spaz like me.
yeah, I am.
That's kind of
I'm
cool.
all over.
Hey, when you get to Ireland, don't kiss the Blarney Stone. You know they pee on it.
I know, I heard that.
I know. I've been there. I didn't kiss it. No, I just had the coffee at the end with the whiskey in it. But anyways, did you
My
change?
type.
Yeah, right. Just say, did you change your name or something? You're morphing your name of your business?
No.
Grandpa Paul said something. You might be adding on to it or changing like the corporation of it. Did you change the corporation?
I changed my animal rescue name
Oh,
not too long
that.
ago.
Oh, okay. That's what he's talking about. You made a
Yeah.
change with your animal. Okay, so this is, I'm looking at one business, but it's the other one. I sell animals all around you. He likes the animal rescue name. What is the animal rescue name?
Compassionate Comrades.
Oh, I love that. You need to trademark that.